Mo Salah, or should I say, the Egyptian king, one of the most prolific goal scorers of our generation. You might think a world class player like him would end up with a world class team, right? Well, it's not that simple. Now, before I begin and start yapping and explaining everything and every detail on his money, welcome to the MT Room. I'm your host, MT. I explain and ask questions of why, woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda, period. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you think about this video at the end of the day. Did you learn stuff? Did you not? And yeah, hit the bell and notification bell to be notified when I upload. Now we gotta address a big elephant in the room. His age. Now, I know that age is just a number. The age is not a big deal. Age is just, a mindset rather than just like, you're gonna act like it. But let's not be around the bush. He's 34. He's not a player that is 27 or 20 entering the prime of his career, right? I'm not saying he's washed up, done for. No, he produced one of his best seasons when he was 31 at Liverpool. But at the end of the day, this is the type of questions that big European clubs will ask, like, would I really want to build a future around this, like, an old 34-year-old or not? Swiftly moving on, let's talk about, well, the money. I know, it's shocking, right? You might think, oh, transfer fee. What transfer fee? You went for free. Well, no, transfer fee is actually free if you come to think about it. Well, let me explain it. See, Salah, yes, he was a free agent, but there's other stuff that got added on to his deal, so he's not really a free agent. Address contract he got at, Trabzonspor. His deal was 2 years, 17 million per season, 34 per season before the compensation and stuff like that, and he gets 20% of the merchandise sale. That doesn't even add the details of signing bonus, goal bonus. Confused? Let me simplify it for you. Imagine this: you got a car for free, you still gotta pay for maintenance, right? Now imagine that is like the wages. I pay for fuel. Now that's just like the bonuses, right? Other stuff, changing tires, changing fuel, the filter, that stuff, right? You gotta pay for all of that, right? So your car taking you from point A and point B and you're fueling gas, that's like Salah scoring a goal. It's doing its job, so you gotta pay for it. Doing his job hella well, you gotta pay extra for that fuel, right? Imagine it like that. Maintenance, you gotta keep the player, bro. You gotta keep the car running. It's right, so it's not actually, so when you say his transfer fee was free, it wasn't actually that free. Not convinced yet that it's actually that simple? Well, let me explain it for you in club terms. Now I know that you would say, oh, but you big European clubs, they got money and stuff like that. Some do, yes, and I agree with you. I was expecting him to move to another European club. I was hoping for him to use another European club. Well, he did, but I'm gonna talk about that later. Now I know you're meaning the big European clubs, right? Let's start with Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I mean, they just signed Diamante, Cucurella, Dumfries, they have Mbappe, Vinicius, stuff like that. They're stacked up front, right? And their policy is kind of like another club I'm talking about, that they're just gonna sign young players, and yes, they do it for free, and yes, they be robbing people, but at the same time, look at how they were dealing with Vinicius problems. Like, if they're not willing to pay that much for Vinicius, now imagine Salah. Yeah, I don't think that thing will work. Meanwhile, if we move across the, across Spain to the rivals, El Clásico Barcelona story, it's less so about tactics and stuff, and more so if he will get minutes. I'm not saying he's not good enough. He's excellent, he's world class. But at the same time, when you got one of the best right wingers in the history of football, who just won a World Cup and the Euro, doing a double, which is crazy in this country, Lamine Yamal, I don't think Salah's gonna get a lot of minutes, right? And if Salah's not gonna get a lot of minutes, he's gonna get annoyed. We've seen it with Arne Slot and what he did with him, right? And besides, Barcelona aren't kinda doing well financially. This is just signed, yeah, you could say, oh, they signed Adeyemi, they signed Gordon, they sold Rashford, they've done so many stuff, they sold Lewandowski, Ferran Torres is about to go. Financially not doing well, and he won't play much minutes, right? Because, well, Lamine Yamal, and probably he will get annoyed. Let's move to a different country. Paris Saint-Germain. Money? Check. Tactics? I don't know, but could maybe. He will run a lot, but he could do that. Check. Team is very good, stacked in every position. So that's a problem. Just like Real Madrid, they're now winning to sign stars and winning to sign young players. No player over 30 or even at 30. All of them 20 something and younger. That's their policy now. So I don't think that's how was even an option for them to buy. So, MT. What about Saudi? Question, MT. Good question. You're a smart guy, MT. Anyways, Saudi. Why not Saudi? A move I expected that's gonna happen. A move that all around the world expected to happen. They got the financials, they got everything. Any club could take him, he could fit in like a glove. They don't run much, they relax more at the time, right? Well, it's not that simple. See, Salah, first of all, would rather stayed in a European club. Second, Salah's going through a rough patch right now. You got big players like Fabinho, Mahrez, Kesse, and it looks like Diaby's also leaving, right? I mean, they got Cristiano. Well, I mean, Cristiano's not going anywhere anytime soon, right? So it's like you got all these big name players leaving, so, you know, there's a rough patch right now. Not many teams are willing to pay the high wages of certain players. And, you know, these players are like, okay, I could just leave and go to anywhere else. If I get a deal, I'm leaving. So, you know, Saudi is not the best destination for him right now. Now, there's only leaving 2 clubs, right? 2 clubs. The one he signed and the one he was going to sign for. Well, let's talk about the one he was going to sign for. Now, Besiktas, they were this close. I'm talking minute details in the contract that just stopped Salah from going. I remember when I said Trabzonspor and what they did. Personal terms, agreed. They agreed merchandise sales revenue goes to him. 2-year deal, 17 million, compensation, signing bonuses, and stuff like that. All were not agreed. Besiktas. While in Trabzonspor, that was all agreed. They agreed on everything. They've done everything correctly. They also play European football. They were third in the league last season. They have Europa League playoffs. So they are literally, I guess you could say, the best option for him. And one thing that, well, if you've been paying attention this whole video, there's one thing that I've been saying. Well, so Salah made this sale for Salah to go Trabzonspor. You know, final. Salah is the guy over there. He's the main reason that people are gonna start watch Trabzonspor. Salah is the project. In Real Madrid and the clubs that I mentioned before, he is not the project. He's not the main guy. He's not the face of the whole league. If he went Saudi, he would have been the face of the league. Cristiano was. If he went America, people will still talk about Messi. Him going to Turkey, first he gets European playoff on European football. He gets playing a competitive league. He still enjoys his football. Preston turns down a lot of money for him, and he's the face of the league and the main guy. So see, when you think of a player and a world-class player like him, there are many different things that just add up. That makes a move for him to a big European club not as simple. That's why a move for Mbappe from Paris to Real Madrid took so long, right? Because it's not that simple. His wages were insane, right? And he was also questioning whether he's gonna be the main guy over there. You know, these are some questions that players ask themselves and other clubs ask themselves. That is he gonna be the main guy? Is he gonna be the face of the project? Are we willing to build around him? And Trabzonspor was like, well, yeah, he's most. Simply put, the Salah situation, well, it's more simple than you actually think. It's not that complicated. Yes, I might have explained it a lot and give you every detail, but that's the simplified details. There's like a bunch of stuff that, well, I don't know. So I'm not gonna just, make a lot of assumptions about stuff. So yeah, Salah situation is actually simple, and why Trabzonspor is the best club for him, and why it currently fits him. It's very simple. So yeah, the only thing that comes, they learn new stuff or they not, and yeah, peace.